this is an honor. And I don't have my notes, but I don't need them. So you don't meet Ohavia Phillips. She meets you. And in that moment, you have a decision. Am I gonna run like hell? Or am I gonna lean into this hurricane force of love? And I leaned in, which was at the time really not my nature. I know this sounds really crazy, and you don't maybe see it, but I'm like a terrific introvert. I loved COVID. It's like so much. I made a lot of friends. I just didn't have to actually be with them. But on a serious note, Matt and I remember it. I was aware of Ohavia. I think we'd passed like ships in the night a few times, and then it was Giving Tuesday, and Ohavia was emceeing an event for Share Charlotte, and I see Melissa right over there. And Matt and I were going to play Queen City Quiz Show after her, and this one bounds up and says, "I love you. We are going to be friends, and we are going to work together." And normally I'd be like, "This is great. I'm going to go." And in that moment, I was like, "Okay." I know how to react to strong female leadership. And in that moment, I was like, "Let's do this." Ohavia has an expression. It's a mantra. It's lead with love. And that's what she does. She leads with love. And when people throw love at you, you do have that choice. Am I going to bring this in, or am I going to push it away? And when you bring it in, there are certain responsibilities that come with that. You can't just say, "I love you," and then that's it. You've got to model that love. You've got to be friends with it. You've got to accept it. But I had no idea how much that love was going to permeate my life, how Ohavia has come to be a co-pilot on so many things we do. She's a board member on Charlotte is Creative. She is the crazy lady that comes to my kids' graduation parties and Millie rocks. And everyone goes, "Who is this person did you brought?" And we answer the way that Ohavia taught us. She's a member of our family. She became my navigator through the tough times of COVID and everything that came out of the murder of George Floyd. And that's a really, really tough role to play. But I would call her and triangulate. This is how I'm feeling. This is scaring me. What do I do? And bounce the ideas off her. And then when that started, well, then I just started running everything by her. I mean, what outfit should I wear tomorrow? Oh, I'm confused. But, you know, there are a lot of people that say, "I love you," and they do loving things, but that's very surface. And what is really easy if you're not committed to missing with Ohavia is how much depth there is. She is a student, she is a scholar, she is a writer, she is a community engagement expert. When she says love, that means I expect things of you if you say I love you back. I dare you to lead with love, and that's not something that you do up here. You do it at the deepest parts of your soul. And if you don't, I'm gonna call you out on it. And Ohavia speaks truth. And she's here today, not just because she's beautiful, and you are, and you're entertaining, and you are, and your fashion sense, your fashion is amazing, and you are, and you're a branding expert, and you are, but it is because you are Ohavia effing Phillips. You dare people to know you, you dare them to get to know themselves, and then you dare them to show it to the world and bring other people in. And with that introduction, Ohavia, you get down here and you share your amazing love.
Come on, y'all.
Everybody, Ohavia Phillips.
You saw them knees? Come on, y'all should be dancing. Hands up! Hey!
You go kill it.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, I forgot.
I forgot I was hot. I forgot the mic was hot.
I said you go kill it. I didn't say anything.
Yeah, it was like, you go kill it. Familia. Wow. What's up, beautiful people? I am Ohavia Phillips. So very blessed and honored to be before y'all. Can y'all hear me? Well, regardless, I'm from Bada Bing, Bada Boom, Brooklyn, so y'all was gonna hear me regardless. Hello, family. What's up, you see guys? All right, so this word, I'm not gonna lie, I learned a new word, and I love words. Hear me. But when Tim called me, he said, Ohavia, we would love for you to do this Creative Mornings. The word is Kismet. I said, what's that? And I looked it up. No, it really went like that. I said, ooh, let me get to Miriam. Let me ask Miriam. Gotta ask Miriam. And when I looked it up, y'all, I could not think of a word that just surmised not only what I'm doing and how I serve, but especially my life. So, just for all of those people, for some of my familia that may not know what the word is, let's go into it a little deep, okay? So, Kismet is circumstance, destiny, a hint of magic. It's fate, it's fortune, it's lot, it is your portion. And when I tell you all that before even knowing this word, it was so a part of not only who I am, but also my life. And if you don't believe me, we're gonna get very close today, okay? I got baby pictures. The baby pictures is booming. Talk to me nice. My mama did good. So here's where it started for me. Here's where Kismet started for me. So I was always the kid who would dance at the family functions. I would always rap. I would always sing. I'm the oldest of 5 siblings, so I would put them all together and make them do like an 8 count. And they used to be. I was like, listen, the family is here. Y'all got to give it all you got, right? But at a very young age, I noticed that there was something different about me. I knew I loved people. I would walk up to strangers and hug them. And growing up in Brooklyn, no. You don't do that in Brooklyn, right? But growing up in Brooklyn, I would walk up to strangers and hug them. I used to get in trouble in class. My mom is here, so y'all pray for me, because she like trouble in class. I used to get in trouble in class for speaking, literally speaking up for people. I used to speak up for people who were being bullied. That's really what I did. And my favorite thing was when teachers and professors would call themselves punishing me for speaking in class, they would move me to the front. But guess what I did? Talk some more. And then they used to think it was punishment, put me in the back. But guess what I did? So eventually, all of my professors and teachers, they knew something was different, and I'll never forget. I want you all to look at baby Ohavia in the uniform. It's giving what it's supposed to give. But what I love is, I remember I had this principal, her name was Miss Otumba. She was a Jamaican woman. And I remember that I was with a group of kids trying to be cool. I don't know what I thought I was trying to do, to be honest, familia. But I was with these group of kids trying to be cool and do what they do. And Miss Otumba came up to me, she said, Ohavia, what you have to do? You're not supposed to be copying nobody else. You got everything you need on the inside of you. Shape up. I should shape up. So that's exactly what I did. And it was from that very moment, Miss Otumba sewing into me. She let me know at a very young age, you're not supposed to be doing what others are doing. You're supposed to be following your calling and your destiny, which is why Kismet is exactly what my life is all about. So y'all, let's get into it. So first, once upon a time, I am a storyteller. And you can't tell the story about O without putting an O in it. So my journey started at Myers Park High School. It was the year 2011. And I didn't know what college I wanted to go to because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew I loved people, and I knew I wanted to get paid to love on people, but I didn't want to be a pastor. You know, I mean, because you could pray for people in different ways, right? So I was like, okay, what can I do to love on people? So graduated from Myers Park High School, didn't know where my life would go. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew that speaking and people and loving on people was my heart's desire. So I'll never forget this. It was Myers Park High, 2011. So, an amazing guy from WSOC interviewed me, pulled me outside, y'all, outside of Myers Park High School, wanting to ask about, the story was about Adderall. I'm not gonna lie, I was like, what's that? I said, people are taking drugs to concentrate? Where I'm from, we take it for different reasons. And it hit, right? So literally, he was like, yeah, there's a story about Adderall, Ohavia. We would love to get your perspective. I said, okay. So he tells me about what Adderall is and asks if I ever had friends who were taking it. And I don't remember what I said verbatim, y'all, but I remember saying, like, I can't believe kids are taking that to concentrate. Where I'm from, we take different things. And he cracks up and he was like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I was like, I don't know, I love people, I love talking to people, I don't know what this is. And this reporter from WSOC said, let me tell you something, you need to be doing this. And he puts the mic in my hand and he was like, get used to holding this. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, you can get paid to be a reporter. I was like, what? And I get to dress up? Because let me tell you, I was dressing at Myers Park High School, put some respect. So literally, so I was like, okay, here we go. Is that what we're doing? Cool. So graduated from 2011 after being interviewed at SOC. I knew it. I said journalism, communications. He gave me the tools. He gave me free game. I want to do it. My journey then went on to Central Piedmont Community College, where I really found my voice. And y'all, let's talk about an ultimate Kismet. Now I am hired at Central Piedmont Community College as a communications account executive, where we ensure that all Black and brown voices are being heard, people are being represented, people from all walks of life, no matter where they come from, no matter what their stories are. I am honored to serve in the role to ensure that all voices are heard. So this is 10 years later though. I was a student at Central Piedmont. And then at Central Piedmont, I remember taking classes and I had a professor, his name was Owen Sikowski. And I had to take this creative writing course. I mean, I knew I liked to write, but I was more of like a rapper. Have y'all know about my bars, by the way? Y'all know I be rapping? All right. I might give y'all something when we're done. I don't know, might add a little adobo. Might add some adobo to it. But literally, I knew that I was a poet and I loved to write and I loved to rap. But I had a professor, his name was Owen Sikowski. He said, listen to me, I really want you to hone in on your writing because you're gonna need this for where you're going. And I was like, why do people keep telling me that? I just want to talk to people and I just want to love on people. But it was because of Professor Owen Sikowski that I not only learned how to write, but I learned how to advocate. See, that's the difference, familia. What is it to have words on a page, but it's not moving communities? What is it to be able to speak and you're so profound, but you're not reaching nobody's heart? So Owen Sikowski sewed into me that it's so important to not only bring the words on the page, but put it in your heart so we can go and bring communities together. He knew what he was doing. That's my jam. And so now here we are. I get past CPCC, I get past UNC Charlotte, and now at this point, I graduate, I turn the tassel, and as life would find it, here I am working in television news. I used to work as a reporter-producer for Spectrum News, and I absolutely adored it. I covered everything from the Panthers going to the Super Bowl, to like even the presidential election at that time. To a ton of other stuff, right? But I think one of the stories that absolutely changed not only who I was as a person, but what really birthed inside of me that I wanted to be a community leader was the shooting of Keith Lamont Scott. The year was 2016, and I remember that my phone was going off, y'all, and I was thinking, I was like, what is this about? I thought it was like, you know, a fire or something because it happens during the night. It was very much so a thing in the overnight news world. And I got a call. They said, Ohavia, we need you in at 8 a.m. And it was my day off. They said, Ohavia, we need you in at 8 a.m. We got a shooting. His name was Keith Lamont Scott. We don't know the details. We're just going to send you. So I said, okay, you're going to send me? Let's go. Y'all, I would never forget this day for as long as I live. I pulled up to my alma mater, UNC Charlotte, where much of the protests and demonstrations were happening. And I just began to shake. All over me began to shake. I wasn't angry. I wasn't sad. I'm gonna be honest, family, I don't know what I was, but I just knew like I could do much more putting this camera down and stepping into community than telling the story from a desk. So I went to my boss and I told him, I said, hey, thank you so much for, I guess, putting me on this story. Listen, I feel called to do a community angle to this story. Would you please, you know, release me to do the story? So in news, you need permission. You can't just freestyle. Even though I didn't always, you know, adhere to that. I got about 7 write-ups to prove it. Sorry, Mom. Anyway, I was giving John Lewis. So literally, I got about 7 write-ups to prove it, familia. But nonetheless, so he said, Ohavia, you don't get it. We don't do that here. You're only called to just state the facts and give the facts, nothing more, nothing less. What is it that you don't understand, Ohavia? You will never be a talk show host on my watch. You will never talk to people. You will never have a syndicated talk show. So just stick to the news. This is what you're good at. Stop putting your heart into stories and relax. I said, okay, no worries. Y'all, the next year, I send a resignation text. I I said to him this, "Dear Mr. So-and-so, protecting the innocent." I said, but let me know if y'all want his name. I said, "Dear Mr. So-and-so, thank you so much for the opportunity to tell as many stories as I could under your tutelage. But I am afraid, actually, no, I'm not. It is time for me to move on and cover the stories that matter to me, cover communities that are going unseen, covering the stories that people are afraid and walking in communities that you are calling undesirable. Thank you for teaching me all that you could. I left the camera equipment under my desk. Peace out." And that was all she wrote. That's all she wrote. So, in 2018, it was October of 2018, the O Show was born. I get so excited when I talk about the O Show, I'm sorry. The O Show was born, and I will never forget, let's talk about Kismet, is during my tenure at Spectrum News, I actually started doing YouTube to calm my nerves a little bit. So news is very taxing on the mind and body, familia. If you don't know, pray for your news people because they're amazing and they make the world go. They give us information. I mean, even what's happening to our family in Ukraine, you got to think about your journalists and pray for your journalists because it is not to be played with. So I was doing YouTube to literally just clear my mental. I mean, there would be some days that were hard. I mean, I would tell stories of 14-year-olds being shot and killed, mothers being torn from their families. I mean, whatever you name it, I probably did it. And so the O Show was born actually out of me just trying to make sure my mental would stay intact. And the funniest thing, let's talk about Kismet again, is I remember I would upload all of my YouTubes before logging into work. And what I would love is whenever we would have our editorial meetings, some of my colleagues would say, "I love the episode of the O Show." Now, my boss wasn't supposed to know I was doing that, so they was snitching, essentially. So we would be in the editorial meetings and they'd be like, "Yo, did you see this week's O Show?" And my boss would go, "O Show, what's that?" And so I was like, nothing. But if you want the link, I mean, I could run it. And so officially, I decided I was going to stop playing when I quit at Spectrum News. I said, let's do this O Show thing for real. I met a woman by the name of Veronica who said, "I believe in you." And I was wearing actually this shirt, #amazing. She said, "Oh, what's that?" And we began to talk, and she sold something into me, and it was the opportunity to build an LLC. Let's talk about the power of community. Let's take a segue. When you know a young person that is doing the work, if you know somebody who is obviously sowing the seeds and doing all they can to be successful, and you have an opportunity to sow into them time, talent, and treasure, please do so. Because of Veronica, I have a talk show, a business, and I've been able to do so much more than what I thought. So sow into young people and into your neighbors who are doing what they love, but they're doing the best that they can. So the O Show was born 2018, but y'all, I wish I could tell you I got famous, and you know what I'm saying, I got Oprah money, and no. I mean, I got Oprah something, but I didn't get her money. But something more, not yet. You're right, Hermana. I love you. So literally, it didn't go like that. Actually, I became a barista. I was your favorite barista, though. I was. Does anybody remember me from People's Market? I just got, my God, what's up? Oh, Jesus. So literally every day at People's Market, as you all see in this photo, this was my uniform, my amazing shirt, leggings, my amazing shirt, jeans, my Jordans, my Forces, and I wore it every day. At the coffee house, people would ask me, "What is amazing? What's that?" And I would have the opportunity to tell them, "Well, I love people and I'm building this talk show." And they would ask me, "Well, why are you at the coffee house?" And I'm like, "I love people and I'm building this talk show." Hear me. Don't make me say it again. Take your cafecito. And so it just became better and better. I began to meet athletes. I began to meet very influential people, and not for the numbers like on Instagram, and not influential for the checks that they could write for me, and not influential for the tables that they can sit me at, but because they sowed into me by saying one thing: "Ohavia, you're gonna do it. You're gonna do it. Ohavia, we believe. You're gonna do it." And every day I wore this shirt, and every day people would meet me and ask me about the O Show. I would get follows, I would get subscribers, and it just began to blow up beyond my wildest dreams, all while being a barista at the coffee house. But then, just when I was at another coffee house, so y'all, I worked at 2 coffee houses. One thing about me, I'm a hustle, okay? So I left People's Market at Dilworth. Shout out to Suarez Bakery Ibarra. My familia, I love you guys so much if you're watching. But then I was at Suarez Bakery Ibarra, and unfortunately, y'all remember the year with all the riots. We had George Floyd, we had Breonna Taylor. Listen, say their names, okay? So I was at Suarez, and I had this, let's talk about Kismet again. I was at Suarez, and I had this amazing overseer. His name was Bryce. So Bryce now actually owns a ton of things around the city of Charlotte, restaurants and initiatives that uplifts Black and brown people to be business owners. So Bryce, I went up to Bryce and I said, Bryce, I want to be out there. I want to be in the streets. Listen, I got to leave work. Bryce goes, huh? You want to leave work? I was like, yeah, I got to leave work. I just feel like I need to be out there. I need to be loving on people, hugging people. I got to figure this out. So I'm leaving. I didn't even ask. I actually put the coffee cup down and was like, what's up? And he said, and I'll never forget this, he said, Ohavia, from when I met you at People's Market, y'all better catch this, Kismet. From when I met you at People's Market, one thing about you is, I know you're going to speak up. He said, we'll hold it down here. Go do what you have to do. And that's when Lead with Love was born. Let me tell y'all how this time has completely changed my life. It was around the time when George Floyd had died, and there was a lot of influencers who were influencing, but And instead of complaining, I went live, and I'll never forget, it was a Sunday, and I don't even know where I came from. All I know is I wasn't my best. I wasn't my best looking. Maybe it was the gym. No excuses. But nonetheless, I went live on Instagram, and I said, hey, yo, influencers, where you at? We buy your merchandise. We buy your products. We show up to your shows. We're following you. You got hundreds of thousands of support from us, and you can't even share what's happening in our world. I'll never forget this, y'all. I did that live. I logged out, and my mom's here. I ran to my mom, and I said, oh, Jesus. But I said what I said, though. My mom goes, Lord, let's see what happens. And so I went to sleep with 5,000 supporters on Instagram, and I woke up to 10,000. People from across the globe, South Africa, Europe. I mean, y'all, I can't even begin to name all the countries because I don't want to forget. Thank you for speaking up and showing us what true influence is. Now, keep in mind, I'm just telling and speaking from my heart. The goal was not to get more follows. The goal was to have people begin to put their feet on the ground, find something to do about it, and step in and speak the truth in love. But instead, something amazing happened. People begin to DM me resources. Say this, Ohavia. Do this, Ohavia. Don't forget that, Ohavia. Oh, think about this, Ohavia. And y'all, before we knew it, I was in the inbox with Eric Thomas, Stacey Abrams people, we're gonna get to that, Kismet, and a ton of other influential people that I can't even name yet, because y'all, this year about to be 5, but I didn't even know, because I was just speaking the truth in love and trying to show that communities do better together, but you can't say that you have true influence if you're not touching the people. I'm confused, very confused. So Lead with Love was born, and I didn't even know how much that would change my life with meeting people in high places, and then the O Show began to just take off. Shout out to my family at the Blumenthal who said, Ohavia, we want to house your show here. And ironically, full circle, Kismet, my very first show with the Blumenthal was speaking about women's empowerment, but not the fake women's empowerment, like the real women's empowerment. You know, the kind where we don't just call you sis, but we hold you down like one. You know, the kind where we don't say, get it, girl, okay, business, but we actually buy from you. You know, not when they give you a You know, not where they give you a t-shirt and you go, oh, that's cute. No, you actually wear it. Shout out to my sis from the Savage Way, Tori and Paula, right? But really, this sisterhood of showing that we can exist in a community and collaborate, not compete. We can all be influential and impactful. It's not me against you. It's us against the initiative that's trying to hold us down. So, y'all, once again, as y'all are learning about me, I'm not one to complain, I just do. So Blumenthal said, Ohavia, bring that energy over here. And that's exactly what happened. The reason why the picture on the right means a lot to me is because, y'all, I was so nervous before going out there. I'm gonna be honest. I was nervous because I was like, I'm about to speak a lot of truth. And, you know, this is going out to thousands, hundreds of people. And, you know, people say they like the truth until they're the brunt of the truth, right? But I told myself I'm not gonna hold back. So that photo that you all seeing is when I was praying, and the prayer was, God, if this is your will, may you please take this platform to another level so that it may reach people and that we can connect and make real change. The curtains open, we went outside. My guests were Davida Galloway, Meredith Dean, and Natalie Stewart. And there were thousands of people on the live on YouTube commenting, we need this, from New York to Cali, from even out of the country, saying this is exactly what we need. But little did I know, y'all, who was watching. Stacey Abrams' team. I got a DM from Anna O. Y'all may know Anna. She does a lot in the community for not even just the arts, but like beyond. Shout out to Anna O. She calls me and she said, Ohavia, they was watching. They like your energy. She wants you to speak at her tour. The stop is in Charlotte. And I literally said to Anna, me? Me? Not that it couldn't be me, but I was like, me, like what, you know, because I'm like, I don't even know how to wrap my head around this. She said, Ohavia, you're doing it, period. So I met Miss Stacey Abrams, and I'll never forget this moment that we had. We were both on stage, and I did this to her, just presenting her. Like I was like, world Stacey Abrams. And she goes, Ohavia Phillips. And in that moment, I was like, no, it's, and I'll never forget this. She said, I am a reflection of you. And it wasn't because we were on a stage in front of thousands of people, y'all. It wasn't because we were up here doing this thing and it was recognized internationally. I believe that Stacey was speaking prophetically. I believe that Stacey Abrams was telling me something that I didn't even know was actually coming up on the cusp of my life. And that's what inspired me to continue to do the good work and show up for youth, show up for all people, especially the educational system, and on and on. Listen, one thing about me is it don't take much for me to activate. I just need a why and I need the facts. Because respectfully, sometimes those facts don't be faxing. And so here we are, family. I am in front of you now as a girl from Brooklyn, from my mother who raised all 5 of us by herself, bad gal. She's a registered nurse. From Brooklyn, mom raised us by herself, did the darn thing. We were in the best of schools. We were in the best of programs. I was in art, swimming. I mean, the only thing I didn't do was karate, but we could run it back. We could run it back, Mom. We could run it back. And here I am now as the oldest sibling of 5 and doing everything that I love with no organization, right? So, you know, in retrospect, I don't have an NBC yet, an ABC yet, a major network backing me. I have y'all, which is the best network backing me. And I want to tell you all this. I don't care where you come from. I don't care what you lack. I don't care who you know or who you don't know. That whole metaphor of a seat at the table, you're the chair and the table. Just bring yourself. It doesn't matter what you have, what you don't, where you come from. Let me tell you, let me be a living witness that your Kismet is who you are. Your Kismet is what you've been doing. Your Kismet is probably so obvious you don't even know. But the biggest thing that I want you to take away from this family is destiny doesn't chase clout. Destiny doesn't chase platforms. Destiny doesn't chase money. It chases purpose, community, and movement. Movement. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Movement. Because everything that I've ever done here in the city of Charlotte that I love so dear, it wasn't about what it can do for me. It was what blueprint can I leave for our young people to do better than me. There's a young Ohavia that I always find and I always come up on and we always speak. And even on this trip that we took with DC, shout out to communities and schools, there was so many young people saying, Ohavia, I want to get into media. And I would ask them why. I said, because let me tell you, it's beyond sitting behind the desk, the glitz, the glamour, the clothes that you wear. What is the impact that you want to make? We have enough people going viral. That's a virus. We have enough people doing goofy things to get the platform. That's not impact. Now's the time more than ever, familia, where we lift people up, and you also should be lifted up for saying the hard things, for doing the work with or without the cameras watching. So, with this Kismet, and thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy days to hear my story. With this last 2 minutes, I actually want to give you a call to action. Who is somebody that you can uplift? Or maybe that person is yourself. Begin to believe not only in the reflections that you see of others, but who is around you, that it's already within you. I've been in a shelter, been there, done that. We've overcome that. Here we are. I know what it's like to struggle, and I know what it's like to hustle. And now my life is completely shaping in the ways that I never thought. But the goal through all of that was not to be famous. The goal through all of that wasn't even, respectfully, Stacey Abrams. The goal through that was to meet impactful servant leaders that I can be inspired by to push the needle forward. So my call to action to you is, what you pushing on? What are you pushing on? What is something that bothers you? Don't complain. Create the solution. What's something that don't make sense? Begin to knock down doors and ask the question. And last but not least, remember, it's not about you. It's about leaving a blueprint so people can understand it's real and it's doable. I believe in you. All are welcome here, but it's up to you to do the work. Now that's some big kismet. I love you guys.